There are not major problems with respect to being a Muslim and following one's religion and abiding by Canadian law. Since the institution of multiculturalism, Canadian law, by and large, has tried to be sympathetic towards cultural differences. Of course, there are certain norms with respect to the equality of everyone and so on, which are basic law and will not be changed. And that's basically, acceptable to most Muslims. As I said, the Muslims who come in are of the middle class, upper middle class, and they are rather worldly, and they are accepting of the Western nuances of legal institutions and norms and so on. In the early years, when these things were not fully understood, there were some lawyers, non-Muslim lawyers representing Muslims, who would try and provide a cultural defense, what was called a cultural defense. But I think by and large the judges saw through that. Something that they just, I think, are trying to institute today. There's going to be a test, what is called a values test. And they're going to ask people who want to reside in Quebec, immigrants who want to reside in Quebec, a certain number of questions about what are termed as Quebec values. And if they fail that 3 times, then I think they will not be given the right to stay in Quebec or receive services there. That's very controversial. A lot of Canadians feel that this is not appropriate. In fact, a number of Quebecers also feel that it's not appropriate. When we look at values, when you look at Quebec values, Canadian values, there are a number of things that that are acceptable now. For example, gay marriage, which have become acceptable in many Western societies over the last few years, over the last decade or so, were not acceptable before. So what are values of a particular country? I mean, because if you look 50 years ago, in many Western countries and other countries, women were not allowed to vote. So values are constantly changing. Or some people would say they're progressing.